Have you ever felt like there's gotta be a better way to find real financial security than just your job? Well, today we're digging into this amazing concept from author Bill Kraft that might just flip the way you think about money on its head. Let's jump right in. The author Bill Kraft kicks things off with a story that I think a lot of us can feel in our gut. He was working these insane 12-hour days, making decent money, sure, but he was missing, well, everything. This quote just perfectly captures that real, painful cost of trading away your time. You just don't get those moments back. And that experience leads right into what he calls the single income trap. See, when you're relying on just one job, your time isn't really yours. There's a hard ceiling on what you can earn. And maybe the scariest part, you're always just one bad day, one layoff away from losing it all. It feels secure, but it's really not. So if that's the trap, what's the escape plan? This is where Kraft introduces a pretty brilliant idea. Stop working for money and instead build a machine that makes money for you. It's a total shift in thinking. Now, a money machine isn't some magical, mysterious box. It's actually a system that you yourself design. It's made up of different assets that all work together to create new streams of income. And that word personalized is absolutely key. This isn't about copying someone else. It's about building something that is tailor-made for your life. And let's get one thing straight right away. This is the total opposite of a get-rich-quick scheme. Those things prey on impatience and chasing secrets. The whole philosophy here is about getting rich steady. It's about being patient, following a proven plan, and carefully managing your risk, not gambling it all on some long shot. That's exactly why drafting your own blueprint is the most important part of this whole thing. The author really hammers this point home. Trying to just copy someone else's hot stock picks is a guaranteed way to fail. Why? Because their goals, their age, how much risk they can stomach, it's all completely different from yours. Your machine needs your unique blueprint.
Okay, so if you can't just copy somebody else, what's the first move, right? You find some hot stock that everyone's talking about and jump in?
Nope. And this is so important. The very first step isn't making a single trade. It's actually taking a step back and creating your personal plan. You have to lay the foundation before you can even think about building the house. So what does that blueprint look like? Well, it really comes down to answering three key questions. First, what are your goals? I mean, really, what is this money for? Paying down the mortgage? A vacation fund? Retiring early? Second, what's your real risk tolerance? How much could you lose without it wrecking your life? And third, be honest. How much time can you actually put into this? And of course, your answers are going to change depending on where you are in life. If you're young, you've got time on your side for compounding to do its thing, so maybe you can take on more risk. But if you have a growing family, generating income right now might be the top priority. And, as you get closer to retirement, it's all about protecting the capital you've worked so hard to build. All right, so once you've got that blueprint figured out, now we can start looking at the fun stuff, the actual parts you can use to build your machine. The best way to think about these is like a set of interchangeable tools in a toolbox. Some of the most basic foundational parts are probably things you've heard of. You've got dividend-paying stocks and bonds. Both are great for creating a steady trickle of income. Then you've got things like ETFs and closed-end funds, which are basically just baskets of different investments that help you spread out your risk. Then you have parts that can really act as income boosters. Things like writing covered calls, which is basically a way to generate extra cash from stocks you already own. Or you could use REITs, that's real estate investment trusts, or MLPs, which are specifically designed to pay out a high level of income. There are a lot of tools to choose from. So, the big question is, does this stuff actually work? Well, the book lays out a really powerful example. Let's say you start with an initial investment of just $8,000. And let's say the machine you've built is designed to generate a return of 5% a month, and you just keep reinvesting those earnings. In just over 4 years, that initial $8,000 grows to over $100,000. That right there is the incredible, mind-blowing power of compounding when your money machine is up and running. But here's the catch. Building the machine, that's only half the job. Operating it successfully for the long haul requires the right mindset. And honestly, this is where most people get tripped up. Not because their strategy is bad, but because their discipline wavers. This right here is the golden rule, and it is so critical. You have to learn to cut your losses short and let your profits run. It sounds simple, but most investors do the exact opposite. They hold on to a losing stock, just hoping it'll come back, and then they sell a winner way too early because they're scared of losing their small gain. Having a plan protects you from your own emotions.
So the operator's manual is pretty straightforward, but that doesn't make it easy. You have to develop self-discipline and trade your plan, not your gut feelings. You have to keep learning. Your education is the best investment you'll ever make. Practice new ideas with paper money before you risk your real cash. And of course, diversify. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
There's this one final quote from the book that I think just sums up the entire idea perfectly. It's about putting in that focused effort up front, that period of learning and planning to set yourself up for a lifetime of financial freedom that, frankly, most people will never experience.
So here's the real takeaway. This is totally within your reach. It doesn't start with a giant pile of money. It starts with a decision to sit down and create a plan. You've seen the blueprint, you've seen the parts. The only question left is, what are you going to build first?